Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Shenplays. Welcome to Kerbal Space Program, where I felt the itch to do something that I have never done before, and that is put a bunch of Kerbals on another planet. So I wanted to build a mobile habitat, which had science, wheels, obviously room for Kerbals to sit, and I wanted to send a bunch of Kerbals to Duna. Now, this is something I'm sure lots of people have done, but for me, this really is a first-time thing. I'm making some type of housing arrangement that moves around the land. And, oh, right, I was discussing the new cargo mechanics. Those things are amazing. I have not tried the cargo stuff yet. Anyway, to do the mobile habitat, we are going to do a subassembly here in the plane design area, the hangar. And then we're going to take the subassembly and put it on a rocket. That's probably the easiest way to do it, because everything in the hangar here is mirrored two ways. It's always two-way symmetry. And it has like a top and a down. It has a top and a bottom. Unlike the vehicle assembly, which is mirrored radially around a central axis. Anyway. So we have these gigantic wheels, and the reason I chose these gigantic wheels is because they have a huge impact tolerance of 150 meters per second. So I figure if we're dropping this thing, we should land on the wheels, and it shouldn't be a problem. They do break at around 30 or 35 meters per second, but they don't break off. They just break, and then you can repair them with a Kerbal. And we've decided to go with 2 science modules in the center, which seat 2 Kerbals each, 2 cargo modules, which seat 4 Kerbals each, and 2 cupolas, which are meant for space stations, but they're actually amazing. When you view them from inside, you can actually drive this thing, and the view is pretty cool. We've got some generators underneath. I believe we're using 14 generators. They don't weigh very much. It's like 1.5 tons for 14 generators, or something like that. And that's enough to power this thing permanently. Don't need any solar at all, which is nice. I like solar, but well, I mean, if you can do it with generators, then that means you can drive in the dark as well. I think I took a little break here. There we go, we're back. Yeah, I take little breaks on Twitch. I think the apartment manager came by, but she's gone now. All right, so now we need to attach some equipment to the top, namely parachutes. Parachutes are going to be the most important thing to getting this thing down safely. Duna has an atmosphere, not a very thick atmosphere, but enough that parachutes will stop this craft, or will bring it to a low enough speed that landing on these wheels will not break anything. At least that's the plan. Assuming the entry goes okay and nothing breaks off, and assuming none of the parts are too wobbly that they won't like physic off when we land on the wheels, then it should be okay. So we're lining up some separators here, some radial decouplers to put some little nubby structural attachments, which we can put parachutes on top. I'm sure there's better ways of doing this, but this seemed like a very simple thing to do for me, so I figured why not. You can't attach the parachutes directly to the decouplers because the decouplers do not have an attachment point, and parachutes require an attachment point. Those little green and blue spheres are required for the parachutes. So 4 drogue chutes, which are the ones that deploy at 2,500 meters. You can adjust what altitude they deploy at, but typically by default, they're set to deploy at 2,500 meters. And then we're going to surround those with a bunch of regular parachutes which deploy at 500 meters. And the difference between the drogues and the regulars is the drogues don't slow you very much, but they deploy at a higher altitude. So they're meant to slow you down before the regular parachutes deploy so that the regular parachutes won't rip your ship apart, which can happen. Now, I do make a critical mistake here as I'm deploying all that stuff along the center of the craft. Oh, here's where I'm looking at. Oh, maybe I should attach some science modules to this thing. Oh, let's do it with this thing. So we put this multiple attachment point here. It's meant for stations, and we attach some science modules to it. And like, okay, I got 2. Maybe I should put more on. Why not? Whatever. But no, it just looks stupid, and the stability wouldn't be wouldn't be anywhere near as good. So we'll find a place to put the science modules that are not stuck between those two things. The main reason why I don't want anything in between is I want the ladder on the top to work, so the Kerbals can walk back and forth between all the modules. To me, that's pretty awesome. I want them to be able to move. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting little attachment points for science modules on the side. And I figure if I rotate the science modules so the openings point towards the ladders, then the Kerbals can pick up the science while they're walking along the ladder. I'll put the goo on there as well. Just center it. And I think we're going to put some communitrons on top of those as well. Oh, right, the accelerometers. We're going to need those things too. We're making this a full science vessel. Except for the atmosphere nose cone thing, that thing for airplanes. I'm never going to use that. I don't think I ever have used that thing. I'm sure it's useful, but it just looks stupid. Oh, there we go. Communitrons. Those are beautiful. Love it. Looks like we have, looks like we're a bug with some antenna or something. Oh, headlights. Of course, the most important part of any rover is headlights. Well, this isn't so much a rover, but it will move. I think we were testing it on the runway there, and it was getting like 10 or 12 meters per second, which is, you know, not great. So we've got some red lights in the rear, the dim ones. We have some green lights on our ship to make our ship look green. And we have some blue headlights. All right, so here we're testing the parachute ejection system. And it's not quite what I want, because it goes straight up. And that means two things. It means one, it possibly could damage our habitat, which would suck if we're already at Duna and stuff's getting damaged. Then you can't really do much about it. And another problem, watch this. I'm going to get Jeb out, and Jeb's going to try to walk along the ladder here, but there's shit in the way. He's like, move! I know he's got a fat ass, and his fat ass is helping clear things. And the nice thing about these decouplers is they explode so easily. They touch the ground. Boom! Explosions. Come on, Jeb. Use your fat ass powers. There you go. Bam! Oh, it didn't explode. Maybe this one will explode. Come on. Explode, explode, explode. Well, don't explode on Jeb's head. There you go. There you go. Explosions. Yeah. Get off my ship. Nice. Okay, so we've cleared all that stuff off, but I figure after this we're going to have to move those so they're not in the way of the ladder. Come on, give me an inside view of the cupola. I don't remember if I actually go inside to look at it. I do once we're on Duna, but I got to see it. It looks so good. These cupolas are amazing. The unfortunate thing is they only seat one kerbin, and they weigh a bit. They weigh quite a bit. So here we're doing a little run around, trying to test how quickly how wide the turn radius is. And the turn radius is huge. It's I'm just crash it for whatever reason. The turn radius is huge, and I'm not going to change it. I was thinking about changing wheels around. If we use smaller wheels, we can get a better turn radius. But no, I mean, look how dinky those are. Those things look stupid. We're going to stick with these massive, awesome wheels because we're here for an awesome freaking habitat. Ah, there we go. So now we're adjusting all of our parachutes to duplicate, which is fine. And we're going to put them on the sides so that they're not in the way of the ladder. That way, when they shoot off, they'll shoot off to the sides instead of straight up. And when Jeb walks along the ladder, there won't be anything cluttering the way. Now, I do have a bit of a problem here, is the communitrons are currently deployed, and I believe if we shoot any of these pieces off, they will interact physically with the communitron and blow shit up. So I'm probably going to have to either move those parachutes or close the probably just easier to close the communitrons. All right, yeah, we don't need all those parachutes. We get rid of a couple of them. And what am I looking at now? I don't even know. Nothing important, I'm sure. This is in 3. Oh, we're looking for a place to put ladders. That's what we're doing. We need to be able to get down on this thing and back up so we can go explore the surface, right? So we put some ladders on the sides, which is great. I'm trying to find a place to put it that's like not freaking out. Don't freak out, man. There you go. Put some ladders vertically, and I need to turn off the snap because snap makes ladder placement kind of weird on a cylindrical object. It's great on vertical. If you just want the ladder to be vertical, then snap is perfect. But if you want it to curve around the surface of a cylinder, you need to turn off snap. And I don't know if I have it set up. Oh, there go all the parachutes. Those look good. Yep, they're not getting in the way. And on Duna, they'll shoot even farther away, so it'll be even easier. But yeah, one of the nice things about this ladder arrangement, it's not perfect right now, but it will be later. One of the nice things I've noticed about this ladder arrangement is you can have ladders cross perpendicularly. Perpendicular crossing, perfectly 90-degree crossing. And the Kerbal will choose which ladder to take based on your WASD when you're controlling the Kerbal. And I thought that was amazing. So you can be going straight on a ladder and come across the perpendicular ladder and press D if you want to go to the right. And he will. The Kerbal will go to the right. And then you use W and S to go up and down on the right axis. I thought that was amazing. Okay, it looks like we've adjusted now. We've adjusted it now. Yeah, the ladder looks good now. The separation between the rungs is good. So there you go. Yeah, look at that. So he went straight down and then he turned and then he went straight once he turned. So now we can go down and repair wheels or go to the grounds or whatever we want to do. I thought placing ladders on this would be a little more tough, but it was actually easy. I thought I was going to have to use like structural girders and stuff. Nope, didn't need them, which is nice because it saves on a little bit of weight. Girders are not light. You'd think they're light. It's just, you know, a bit of metal with nothing inside of it. But no, the girders are pretty heavy. This thing, however, this lander is pretty light. As a subassembly, all we have to do is attach it to some type of lifting mechanism. Oh, here's where I decide to turn it around. The default forward, when you press W, the default forward was backwards once I put this thing out there. So instead of like rearranging all the cupolas or anything, I just said, screw it. I'll put the headlights on the back, and I'll call that the front now, because it goes forward that way. So that's perfect. That works for me. All right, so here's probably the final test out here. There go all the parachutes. Oh, this is the staging test. There we go, yeah. So all the parachutes go off at the right stages. Driving around. Come on, show me the cupola view. Come on, Shen. Show the cupola view. No, not going to happen. All right. I mean, obviously that separator is not going to be there once it takes off. Okay, are we done? I think we're... No? Oh, right, the ladders won't retract. For some reason, the ladders bug out sometimes, and you can't actually retract them. Just click on them all day long, and they won't retract. I also ran into some symmetry problems later on. Oh, here we go. So we're ready to make it a subassembly. We'll save it in the hangar first. That way we have it saved as its part individually, and then we can make it a subassembly. You just drag that off, and then you put it into the subassembly drop zone, and then you can take it out of the subassembly drop zone later on, like right here, and attach it to your launch vehicle, which is what we're going to do. And yeah, with the wheels positioned the way they are, and the parachutes on top of the rover, it's not going to be perfectly stable when we launch it. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's really close. So I didn't worry about it too much. Trying to decide which probe head I want to use. I'm like, it's just, I never use probe heads for anything. I should probably play more with probes, but I don't know. I don't have that many hours in this game, so... Oh, there we go. Yeah, attach. There you go. Nice. Look at that. So directly from the subassembly, just attaches right to that separator, which attaches to the probe head. We're going to hire some Kerbals to take with us to populate Duna. I believe we're going for maximum stupidity for the people who will provide new population on the planet Duna. They're going to have to reproduce like rabbits. And we want for low stupidity for people who are going to habitate the science labs, because we're going to have some smart Kerbals there too to make sense of things, right? Why is down up and why is up down? Because you've fallen on your head. Okay. These are things that Kerbals worry about. And what I forgot, okay, I've already made a heavy lifter. I know I have a heavy lifter ready to go. I used it to lift a space station. And the heavy lifter was rated for 80 plus tons. Somewhere around 80, 85, 90 tons is what the heavy lifter has already been proven to do. And I've got the heavy lifter as a subassembly. It's ready to drag and drop onto this machine. And what I forgot is in the subassembly for the heavy lifter, I've already put in the transfer stage. It's complete with the transfer stage. It doesn't have that much fuel, but it's ready to go to like the moon, Minmus, Duna. The heavy lifter subassembly is ready to rock. And I totally forgot, because I made it like 2 weeks before. I totally forgot that the heavy lifter already has the transfer stage in place. So I built my own transfer stage, and then I'm like, uh-oh, here's the heavy lifter, and it already has the transfer stage. I'm like, okay, I guess I didn't need to build this, and I just threw it away. All right, there we go. Heavy lifter on. Good to go. And Twitch chat at this point was complaining, oh, you've got a separator next to a separator. You don't need that, Shen. I'm like, I know, but it's part of the subassembly. I'm not going to rip it. I'm not going to rip the subassembly apart. I'm just going to add some more fuel to the transfer stage, and that's it. That's all we need to do is add some more fuel. Now, at the end of the day, it turns out I didn't even need this extra fuel. The transfer stage, it was made for Duna, and it was made for 80 plus tons. This lander is nowhere near 80 tons. The lander at most is like 15 tons. It's nowhere near 80 tons. So we don't need extra fuel, but I forgot. I haven't used this heavy lifter in a while. And you can see the heavy lifter has monopropellant. It's got some nukes for high efficiency. It's got some batteries. Got 2 advanced SAS on it, which it takes is pretty much, I think, it can take both SAS all the way to Duna because it takes the main engine to Duna as well. It just has so much fuel. It's insane how much fuel the heavy lifter has. What is it? It's just mainsails? Yeah, it's what, 8 mainsails surrounding the gigantic fuel tank with the 3,200 thrust quad engine as the main engine. It's just ridiculous. And of course some gigantic solid boosters on the sides. So we're checking all the staging. I think the staging's okay. The monopropellant's all set. We don't need any on the lander because the lander, I don't think it can even flip over. Maybe. I don't know. I've been driving it on Duna for a while. I'm going to the North Pole, and it hasn't been able to flip over yet. The wheels brake at around 30 or 35 meters per second, so I'm trying to keep it under 30 meters per second. But yeah, it goes up and down all terrain. I mean, it's pretty damn good. It's never flipped over on me. It's come close a couple times, but just won't flip over. It's stubborn, which is cool. What am I doing? Oh, we're adding struts. Of course, the most important part of any spaceship is space tape. And this is career mode, so I don't know. I'm trying to conserve money. You can see this thing costs 480,000 credits already, which is not cheap, but we've got 4.3 million in the bank. I think we can handle that. Just a dent in our wallet, right? And go run some more missions and make some more money. But yeah, attaching space tape is super, super amazingly important. Having stability, having no wobble, having your SAS actually be useful is in itself very nice. The SAS doesn't work too well, or it has to work really hard. Oh, here's where look at that, it's just all fucked up. Oh my goodness. The symmetry was messed up. I think I have to restart the game here because the symmetry is supposed to go from 1 up to 8 times symmetry, and then it's supposed to go back to 1. But instead, you saw there with the girder segment, it went up to like 90 and it just wouldn't stop. So I think I have to, I don't know, because it's not like, what happens? The space tape stops connecting properly. I mean, this game is still alpha, or is it beta now? I don't know. I think it's still alpha. But yeah, here's where I'm trying to attach the space tape, and it's just not working. It's not letting me attach the space tape. Like, I'm trying to pick 2 times symmetry, and instead it's doing like 15 times symmetry. It's weird. I don't know. And the symmetry won't change as well. I'm clicking on the symmetry, and it's not doing anything. It's not changing from 8 to 1 to 2 to 3. The button's just not working at all. So yeah, we're just going to close and relaunch. Not a problem. Welcome to my desktop. Welcome to Windows 8. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I could cut this out, but why cut it out? It's a freaking alpha game. Of course you go through stuff like this. And it gives me time to enjoy my coffee. Version 0.25. All right, that's where we are. All right, there we go. And now the symmetry should be fine. Space tape not connecting unless we go in one direction. For some reason, from the girder down to the main engine, or down to the main fuel tank, it wouldn't connect. But from the fuel tank up to the girder, worked like a charm. I don't know. Sometimes it does that. And here I'm trying to connect the girder up to the science module. It won't do it. But from the science module down to the girder, works right away. It's like, why? I don't get it. And sometimes it won't work to connect to the girder either. Sometimes you have to go from the girder down or whatever. It's so weird. And here the battery's getting in the way, and I don't need the batteries because on the lander we have a ton of generators. So I just ditched the batteries. It's just extra weight. And the symmetry messed up again, so I left and came back in. Didn't have to relaunch the game. Symmetry fixed itself when I left the VAB, which is great. Is it VAB or VAC? Vehicle Assembly, I guess building, so I guess it's VAB. I don't know. Yes, space tape everywhere. We're using those drum tanks on the sides as like the center point for all the space tape, because space tape has a limited range. So we're attaching things to the drums and then from the drums to the lander. And we're also using girders on the sides where we don't have the drums. So we're using the girders and the drums to attach to a middle point, which is very stable. And then we're attaching from the middle point up to the lander to keep the lander stable. And we launched, and of course we had the wrong Kerbals in there because Jeb kicked everyone out. We had, what, 8 people or 6 people in there? Jeb said, fuck it, get out, it's my trip. He kicked everyone out. So we reverted back to the VAB, kicked Jeb out, put the Kerbals that we want back in the science module and the cargo room. We have Tedson as the pilot. He's in the cupola, which is upside down. And this is where Twitch chat tells me, see now here's the problem, the nav ball, because the main cupola where Tedson is sitting, the main cupola is on the bottom facing down. Look at our nav ball, it's brown, it's supposed to be blue. The nav ball says we're facing down. It's because the main cupola is facing down. But what Twitch chat tells me, and I don't know why I didn't know this, is you can just right click on the other cupola on the top and say control from here. And even though Tedson is not in that cupola, it will indeed control from there, and all of a sudden the nav ball is blue because it says we're facing upward, which is way easier to control. We have some spin, we have some lean. I'm trying to correct it with the WASD. It's much easier once the solids are gone. We get some rotation going here. Just going to try to lock it on a direction and just go. There we go, control from here. Now everything is blue. And it's much easier for me to think with the blue nav ball because I know where up is and down is and all that stuff. Detaching all of our stages. Setting up for a circular burn. Looking good. Yeah, that main engine, that 3200 thrust is nuts. And the reason there's a gap there is I put an SAS down there. I like having my SAS, if I have 2 of them, like in this case there's 2. I've got one at the top of the lifter, at the top of the 2 nuclear engines, and then I've got one at the very, very bottom just before the final engine. You can't put it below the engine because the engine wouldn't thrust then. Circular burn, go. Everyone's enjoying it. You can only see 3 of the Kerbals for some reason, even though I believe there's 6 or 5 or something in here. The 2 guys in the science lab, you can't see them. Yeah, we got 5 Kerbals. You can't see the 2 guys in the science lab, and I don't know why. Really weird. And they are there. Once we get to Duna, we'll see them, but you can't see them in the bottom right. All right, so we're going to go back to the Space Center and fast forward until Duna is in the right location. It's not that far. We launched at a pretty good time. We could have rotated the we could have fast forwarded the game until Duna was in the right location and then launched. And then we wouldn't have to fast forward after launching, but it doesn't matter. I never think about that until after I'm in space, and I'm like, oh, the planet's in the wrong spot. So we check the map there for the right location of Duna, check the right angle to do the burn, and we go ahead, line up the burn, do a full thrust to see how long of a burn it'll be. It takes 45 seconds. Checking out our Kerbals in the cargo room. Looks nice. They're enjoying the trip. Of course they are. That's Pepe and Nguyen. Go Pepe and Nguyen. Oh, man. Man, look at that thrust. That thrust is nuts. 3,200 kilonewtons. Wow. Look at Tedson wiggle around in that cupola. Jeez. All right, so the way I do my burns is probably extremely suboptimal. What I do is I burn out of planetary influence, so we're orbiting the sun, and then I do a second burn. I mean, look, we're really close to where we want to be anyway. Then do a second burn once we're orbiting the sun, which is a little easier for me when we're dragging around the green, the pink, and the blue figures here on the maneuver. When we're dragging that around, it's easier for me when we don't have Kerbin or Kerbin's moons interfering. So I always get into a sun orbit here, and then I fine tune it for wherever our destination is. It's just so much easier for me. But I use the calculator. I guess I can put a link under the video here for the calculator. It's amazing. It shows you where you want the planets to be and what position you should be around Kerbin before you do or when you do the burn. And that way you'll wind up like this with an orbit of the sun, which is very, 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 very close to the target destination planet's orbit. So it's easy to adjust from there. You can see this fine-tuning is only a 65-meter adjustment. Very, very low delta V, just a 2-second burn for this massive engine. I think we're going to burn it on low thrust, though. This thing on minimum thrust, where you just press shift once. The minimum level thrust for this is 126 or 128 kilonewtons, which is more than the maximum thrust of my transfer stage, the two nuclear engines, because each nuke is only 60. It's ridiculous how much thrust that thing has. There you go. It's on minimum thrust now. It doesn't even look like they're thrusting, but it is. It's like, why would I put animation when it's only going 120, when it's only putting out 120 kilonewtons? Well, because that's enough for this ship. We're in space. We still have lots of fuel left, so I'm hesitant. I mean, we have this transfer stage, which has ass loads of fuel, metric ass tons of fuel in this transfer stage. And I'm not even using it because we still have our main lifting engine. It's still here. This heavy lifter is meant for a much heavier object. The only thing I've lifted with it before this is an 85-ton space station, refueling station. And that worked beautifully. It's still, even that one had tons of fuel left over. All right, there we go. We have our encounter with Duna. And the encounter data seems to have changed. I haven't played this game in maybe 6 months or so. And the encounter data, it used to be pretty accurate. Like when you make the maneuver burn, and here we're going for an aero capture. Aero capture is when you're coming into a planet for the first time, and you want to achieve an orbit around the planet. Then you do an aero capture. It's a very steep aero break, and I choose the wrong altitude here. I choose 16.5. Twitch chat was, I don't know these altitudes. Twitch chat was helping me with the altitude. 16.5 turned out to be a little too far away. We should have gone for like 13K or maybe 13.5 or 14K at the most. But it doesn't matter because we have tons of fuel. So I think what we do is we go in at 16, and I realize that it's not close enough to the planet. But I don't know. I'm not a guy who likes to load quick saves if I can help it. So instead of loading any quick saves, we just use the main engine. We have tons of fuel. And the transfer stage has tons of fuel as well. But yeah, the aero capture will bring you into an orbit. So your main goal is to achieve a low enough pass on the planet that it will capture you. So instead of passing by, you will achieve an orbit. A very oblong orbit, but that's fine. And then aero braking after that to reduce your orbit to something near circular or whatever you want. In this case, I think we do one aero capture, well, obviously one, and then I think we do one aero brake to slow down. Oh, I don't even bring the main tank, and I'm just throwing away those drums of fuel because I know I don't need them. We brought so much fuel. I don't need that shit. All right, so we're coming in on the planet here. The atmosphere on Duna starts at around, well, technically the time acceleration stops at 40K. Then you have to use physical, but I believe the atmosphere won't actually slow you down until about 21K or something like that. But it's very thin. It's nowhere near as thick as Kerbin's. And that's our target right below us. That wide stretch of black there is actually a depression which has very, very, very low, what would you call it? I don't know, it's just pretty flat. It's very, very flat. There's not a whole lot of altitude variation down there. The topography is nice and smooth. And that's our very, very, when I've come here before with like an airplane or whatever, that's the best place as like a landing strip. Absolutely amazing. It's all flat. So we're targeting that for our rover because we won't have as many complications. We're trying to land this thing on these really heavy wheels. We don't want anything to break off our habitation module. But yeah, this is the aero capture, so we're just trying to get orbit, and here we're at full thrust because I realized that apparently 16.5 wasn't close enough. That's okay, we have lots of fuel. We have 1,530 liquid fuel, just absolute metric fuck tons of this shit. All right, there we go. Those nukes didn't done us proud. So our aero capture is success, and we are going to do one aero braking pass, and then I think we're going to land. There's no reason to do multiple aero brakes unless you're low on fuel, which we're not. And obviously, this is not meant to be a land and return mission. There is no return for this. This is just dumping off a gigantic lander habitation module. We're adjusting to get a little closer. It looks like we're targeting 13.5. Yeah, 13.5 works for me. Wait, are we not targeting 13.5? Really? I'm pushing up to 15? Okay, well. Shows what I know. I mean, this was yesterday, right? So, yeah, my memory is not all that good. All right, so we've done our small little burn. We're going to come in, and I believe we orient ourselves and land, like right here. Do we? Oh, no, we don't. That's right. This is the first of 2 aero braking. Oh, man, why did I do 2? I don't know. I mean, there's our target right there, that beautiful depression. That's what we want. Yeah, we do a second one. Wow. I thought we only did 1. Holy crap. I can't believe I didn't remember that. It was yesterday. Oh, man. Can someone please get me my old person pills? My brain is disintegrating before your very eyes. I was absolutely sure we did the aero capture and then 1 aero brake, and that's it. And then we landed. But nope. Here we are coming for our second aero brake. Oh, my goodness. And yeah, this was intended to be a second aero brake pass. But Twitch chat was saying, well, there's your landing strip. You can probably land on it right now. And they're absolutely right. So that's what we do. We set up to land on the strip on this pass. And it's right near the equator, too. So it's super easy to land on. If it was further north or south, I might ignore it because there's some other places near the equator to land. But out of all the places on Duna, this is my favorite place to set down. It's such a long landing strip. It's perfect. But yeah, if it was further north or south, you'd have to burn a lot of fuel to get there. Might not be worth it. So much fuel in this transfer stage. Having that giant SAS really helps wiggle this thing around. I do have RCS, but I don't have the RCS turned on for some reason. I don't know. Why am I not using the RCS? I don't know. I'm stupid. Okay, there we go. Do the little burn. Get us down. Come on, get us down. There you go. A little bit of an angle turn just so we have more room on the landing strip. Good, good. And now we just wait for the atmosphere to catch us, which is very easy to do because we're coming in below 20K pretty soon here. Once we get below 20K, the atmosphere will start slowing us down very quickly. And then we'll get ready to pop the drogue chutes. I don't know what altitude the landing strip is at. I don't know why I keep calling it the landing strip. That's what I've been referring it to as the landing strip because I love to land airplanes there. There goes our transfer stage, and all the space tape is gone. We won't need it. But yeah, I don't know what altitude the terrain is actually at, so we'll probably just deploy the drogue chutes really quickly. There you go. SAS off for the time being. Simply because SAS will kind of screw with the way parachutes work. And you don't want to screw with the parachutes. You want the parachutes to be fully effective. And once the drogue chutes catch, then we launch the regular chutes. And once the regular chutes catch, then we'll probably turn the SAS back on simply to keep us upright. There goes the regular chutes. And brakes are on as well. Brakes, it's important to have the brakes on so you don't start rolling around in case you're on an angle or whatnot. There you go. SAS is on, and we're landed, and the wheel's all busted. But you know what? We're down. Everyone's celebrating. Look how happy Nguyen is. Nguyen's fucking ecstatic. Even Tedson's like, hey, nothing's that broken. Woo! We close all the cupolas, and... not the cupola. We can close the communicatrons, and it's time to separate all the parachutes. There they go. Parachutes gone. Explosions. Good times. And we need to get somebody out to fix the wheels. So here comes Nguyen. He's on wheel. Look how easy it is to turn on that ladder. I love it. He's on wheel repair duty. He is one of our repopulating kerbins, so he's pretty dumb. But that's fantastic. We love dumb kerbins because they're happy to do all these really dangerous jobs. What happens if that wheel like hits you when it's reinflating? I don't know. That'd be scary as shit, man. All right, so he's back in the cargo module, and it's time to drive. Look at this. Woo! Look at the view from the cupola. The cupola is perfect. Oh yeah, of course, get the communicatrons out. But the cupola is perfect for driving on the surface. The view angle you get is absolutely amazing. You can see we're getting like 13 meters per second. That's not that fast, but it doesn't need to be that fast. It's super easy to control this thing, partly because it weighs so much, but also because it doesn't go very fast. I mean, the faster you go, the more sliding you'll get, like drifting. One of the weird things about this is it doesn't go straight very quickly, but if I turn, it goes faster, and I don't know why. I can get up to like 25 meters per second with this thing just by turning while accelerating. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. I've been Shen. You